And that loss.
Bodies flying everywhere.
Mike Bibby can't believe it. Mike Bibby just went to the ground and said, what is happening here?
It was their year, no doubt about it. They had everything going for them. The coach who maximizes his players' talents, a loaded roster from top to bottom, and the home court advantage that would drive opposing teams crazy. Led by a collection of talent, a unit all about team, we before me, all for one and one for all. Destiny was knocking at the doorstep until May 30th, 2002, Game 6, Western Conference Finals, a day that the Sacramento Kings would love to have erased from their memory. In the early 2000s, the NBA was dominated by the Los Angeles Lakers. However, the road to their three-peat became quite the rocky one, especially in that 2001-2002 season. The Lakers did not finish on top of the West, nor did they win the Pacific Division as they did in their previous title runs. The Sacramento Kings won 61 games, took the Pacific title from LA, and secured the number 1 seed, which played a huge part in their postseason success. This was a Kings team built to win a championship, and Arco Arena was about to become the most feared building in the NBA. As many of the Kings faithful know, the old Arco Arena was the ultimate home court advantage. For opponents, it was almost as grueling as battling in the ancient Roman Colosseum. No visiting team was making out easy. As the playoffs started up, the Kings came out the gate swinging, winning their opening round playoff series 3-1 against Utah Jazz and topping the Dallas Mavericks 4-1 in the Western Conference semifinals. With Sacramento rolling, this was their window, their opportunity to finally break through, make the NBA Finals, and win it all. If the Kings got past LA, I think we all know Sacramento had the advantage to take out the New Jersey Nets. Not to get ahead of ourselves, but if the Kings beat LA, there is no stopping Vlade, Chris Webber, Mike Bibby, and Peja in the NBA Finals. As the Western Conference Finals began, the Kings were listed as underdogs to advance to the finals, a slight to Sacramento's impressive season so far. But there were 2, and eventually 3, things the Kings were missing. That was Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, and the highly questionable calls from the referees. Championship experience does matter, to say the least for the Lakers, but as the series progressed, the Zebras made their impact on the game. Game 1 opens up in Arco in the best-of-7 series, the Kings faithful roaring with the chants and the infamous cowbells that rang in such a disruptive manner that drove the Lakers nuts. Yet with all the chatter, the Lakers managed to escape Game 1 with a 106-99 victory. The dynamic duo of Shaq and Kobe combined for 56 points. It seemed as though this might be another one of those Laker playoff runs. Lakers lead 1-0. Game 2, back in Arco, and the Kings wanted to take what was theirs. With Bobby Jackson and Hedo Turkoglu pouring 25 points off the bench, the Kings built back the momentum. Series tied 1-1. Game 3, Staples Center, bright lights of Los Angeles, the back-to-back champs were back at home and were looking to take the home court. But that momentum from Game 2 stuck with Sacramento as they demolished Los Angeles Lakers by double digits, 103-90. 6 players scored in double figures, including Chris Webber going for 26, Mike Bibby going for 24, and Doug Christie dropping 17 of his own. Sacramento had it going on, up 2-1, silencing the crowd in LA and getting ready to put the pedal to the metal in Game 4. Game 4, with their backs against the wall, down at halftime, rallying, the Lakers cut the Kings lead to 2 with seconds left in the fourth. Kobe drives in, misses the high floater, Shaq gathers the rebound, misses the putback to tie with 4 seconds. And all of a sudden, everything is slow motion. Vlade Divac tips the rebound out of the top of the key, which happens to land in the hands of one of the most clutch shooters in the NBA. Big shot Bob, Robert Horry. It seems as the 3-1 lead the Kings were ahead had vanished. Horry grabs the tipped out rebound and fires away, Once again in slow-mo, the ball finds the bottom of the net and the Lakers escape with a 199 victory that Divac called lucky. 2-2, back to Cowtown, the series is up in the air. Robert Horry really spent his career showing up twice a year just to decide who gets a ring and who gets trauma. Game 5 being the pivotal swing game, who will be up 3-2 headed back to LA. Game 5 came down to the wire. This time, Los Angeles was holding on to a 1-point lead with 10 seconds left. The Kings drew up a perfect inbound play. Bibby inbounded the ball to Chris Webber, who handed back to Bibby and hit the open jumper with 8.2 seconds left to play. Kings up 1. Arco is going berserk. Yet there was still time for the Lakers to get the ball to Kobe and let him do the typical Kobe thing. With seconds winding down, Bryant's back down, Bobby Jackson turns around, fades away and clanks the rim. Kings win. Sacramento is riding high, up 3-2. This is it. The Lakers have exhausted everything they could to win this crucial Game 5 and came up short. Now everything is rolling for the Kings. They recovered from the Robert Horry incident. They overcame the Lakers to take care of Game 5. Now all the Kings have to do is win Game 6 to advance the NBA Finals. The fairy tale ending for the Kings turned into their worst nightmare. Game 6 in Los Angeles. With these two teams going for each other's throats throughout the series, the refs were letting the boys play. Lots of physicality, lots of bumps and bruises, and not to mention, they argued calls. But Game 6 had a different feel to it. The game was a grudge match. Both teams battling in the trenches, struggling in the stretches. When the third quarter ended, the game was tied 7-5 all. It was going to take everything the Kings had to fight off the Lakers, and vice versa for LA, but keep in mind, this game was in Los Angeles. The champs were not going to go down easy, and the refs made sure of it. As Stephen A. Smith famously ranted, "We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, and led astray," which is exactly what happened to Sacramento. The fourth quarter began with forward Scott Pollard being hit with an offensive foul, a turnover, and committing a foul on Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq makes both free throws, Lakers up 77-75. After a few trips up and back, the refs finally decide to make a call in favor of Sacramento. Yet Peja Stojakovic, who is an unreal shooter, missed both attempts. Minutes later, after a Bobby Jackson layup and a Kobe Bryant jumper exchange, Shaq once again gets to the line. To put this in perspective, teams notoriously would hack a Shaq, but this was legit defense played on O'Neal. The refs' friendly whistles kept coming for the big fella, who ended up shooting 10 free throws in the fourth quarter alone. Shaq ended up taking 17 free throws total. Something didn't add up. Chris Webber played the entire fourth quarter, and guess how many free throws he shot? He shot 0. Mike Bibby, who played nearly the entire quarter, shot a whopping 2 free throws. Shaq alone outshot the Kings in free throw attempts 10-9. Back to the game. As the fourth progressed, there were so many ticky-tack calls favoring the Lakers. Another no call for the Kings came with 7:52 left in the game. Bobby Jackson slicing and dicing his way to the rim, taking contact left and right. No call was made. Ball out of bounds, possession still Sacramento, but you can tell this is not going Sacramento's way. Even Bill Walton, who was calling the game with Marv Albert on NBC, was exclaiming that bodies were flying everywhere.
And that loss. Bodies flying everywhere.
How long is Bibby going to be on that bench? What point do you bring Vlade back with 5 fouls?
Jackson ends up missing his jumper on the wing and proceeds not only to foul Kobe Bryant, but is called for a clear path foul, leading to a free throw and retaining possession. Bryant knocks down another elbow jumper to give LA a 5-point lead with 7 minutes to go in the fourth. Around the 6:25 mark in the fourth, the refs once again blow the whistle on Lawrence Vanderberg for contact before the ball went into the post. That put Los Angeles in the bonus with 6:21 left to go, a clear advantage for Los Angeles. However, as the intensity rises, the Kings answered back with Vlade checking back to the game. Webber finds him cutting with about 4:40 left to go. Divac gets the pass and finishes and 1. Kings back up 90-81. Lakers come down to the court once again. Quick whistle. Webber picks up his fourth foul. During the play, Robert Horry jumps for the ball and elbows Divac directly in the front of referee. No call, of course, as a scuffle begins between the two. With just over 3 minutes left, Sacramento has the ball after Divac wins the jump ball over Shaq. Bobby brings up the ball, up 92-90. All the Kings have to do is utilize the clock and put a few points up on the board. 3:14 left. Bobby initiates the offense, finds Webber in the post, who faces up against Horry. As Webber makes his move to the cup, Horry tries to engage contact and falls to the ground. The ref sees Horry on the ground, refs blows whistle, Webber gets hit with an offensive foul. Looking at the replay, you can clearly see Webber making a basketball move to the rim. Feet were not entangled with Horry's, shoulder was not lowered into his chest, it was a blatant blown call. The look and reaction on Chris Webber's face says it all, blank, with no words to say. Lakers ball. Less than 3 minutes to go. Horry has the ball up top, dribbles hard to the middle of the paint and loses the ball. Divac make a hustle play to dive for the rock, but once again, referee Bob Delaney blows the whistle and gives Vlade his sixth foul for pushing Horry. What a turn of events. Coach Rick Adelman of the Kings was shocked. Divac had no words, no other reaction but laughter at how terrible that call was. Game tied 92-all. With 2:16 to go, the Lakers had shot 13 free throws in comparison to Kings 3. The next possession, Lawrence Vanderberg gets smacked by Shaq. Yes, a foul was called, but the refs did not issue any kind of flagrant to O'Neal. Kings up one after Vanderberg hits the free throw. Until once again, you guessed it, a foul call on Doug Christopher guarding Kobe Bryant on the baseline after he missed. Slightly late call, barely any contact, but the theme of the game was give the Lakers the calls. Even Bill Walton was pleading his case for Sacramento on that call.
Mike Bibby can't believe it. Mike Bibby just went to the ground and said, what is happening here?
Webber got a nice block on this drive. I am not sure where any foul was, other than Kobe Bryant jumping into defenders. Lakers back up top. And at the 129 mark, the Lakers have shot 19 free throws compared to Sacramento's 5s. Tough scene for the Kings. Another possession for Los Angeles. This time it's Hedo Turkoglu who commits the foul on Rick Fox with a little over a minute to go. The refs were handing out calls like they are free samples. At this point in the fourth, the Kings have obviously done everything they can to even sniff the free throw line. The referees are nearly blind when it comes to the Kings players getting hit on offense. With 43 seconds left, down 3, Bibby makes a nice hesitation move on the rim on Kobe Bryant. Horry and Bryant essentially both foul Bibby on his way up. The referee does not even reach for his whistle, let alone making the right call to send the Kings point guard to the foul line. Bibby frustrated, the team looks deflated. This is now Los Angeles' game to win. After Hedo Turkoglu knocks down a pair of free throws after a blocking foul was called, and Kobe Bryant shoots his intentional foul free throws, the score is now 103-100. With 19.8 seconds left, the Kings have a chance to tie it up. It is crazy to think that with all these calls going to the Lakers' way and how poorly the Kings shot throughout, it was still in their grasp. The heart that the Kings had was unbreakable. 16 seconds to go, the Kings get the ball to the Hedo Turkoglu, who quickly drives in and scores on a layup. It is 102-103, Kings holding on. The Lakers are about to inbound and are looking for Kobe to secure the win with free throws. We all know the referees are clearly favoring the Lakers. This was the play that, to this day, is remembered by all Kings fans as complete and utter BS. Horry is inbounding and Brian is scrambling to get open. But Kobe creates a space by swiping his elbow across to the face of smaller Mike Bibby, knocking him down to the ground. And no call, no damn call, nothing, not a whistle, not a stoppage, nothing, until the ball is in the hands of Brian and Doug Christie is forced to foul Kobe. What a travesty. Bibby gets clocked and Kobe shoots free throws. This should have been an offensive foul, no doubt. Bryant eventually knocks down both free throws to make it a 105-102 game. Kings' last hope. Bibi takes a desperation, heavily contested three, misses, and the game is over. 106-102. Just like that, the finals the Kings had in their grasp had vanished. One of the most controversial fourth quarters the viewers have ever seen. Coach Rick Adelman was animated, telling the Sacramento Bee, "You tell me how the game went. Our big guys get called for 20 fouls and Shaq only gets 4. Weber also chipped in, saying he would not forget when it came to bad officiating and Kobe Bryant knocking down Mike Bibby. Many from the Sacramento Bee believed that when the Kings players spoke up to the refs with their case, it did not matter compared to when Shaq voiced his opinion. With Game 6 being completely ruined by bad officiating, the Kings had done one thing to look forward to, a Game 7 at home, which the Sacramento Bee beat writer for the Kings, Mark Kreidler, called the worst consolation prize ever. Game 7, Arco 3-3, the final chance at redemption for the Sacramento Kings. The crowd roaring, doing everything in their might to help and support their beloved Kings, cowbells ringing, chants of "Let's go Kings," and of course, boos galore when it came to Kobe touching the ball. A valiant effort from Sacramento up until the end. However, the champs, being the champs, took care of business. Weber's nearly triple-double and Mike Bibby's 23-point performance were not enough. Kobe and Shaq combined for 72 points. The Lakers won the series and eventually swept the New Jersey Nets en route to their third straight NBA title. The Kings were the team of destiny. There was no doubt about it. But the referees could not have disagreed more. Thanks for watching, and if this one got your blood boiling, wait until you see what happened in the 2000 Western Conference Finals, the Lakers versus the Blazers, and a fourth quarter that still doesn't make sense. That video is right there on your screen.